But with the Lionesses, not so much so, because we are the current holders, and we are taking on Italy tomorrow night, live on talkSPORT.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at this fixture against Italy, you don't want to take Italy for granted at all. There's a reason that they're this far into the tournament. But you think player for player, when you weigh things up, England do have the experience and they've got the talent 100%. And we were just at the press conference earlier today. Sarina Wiegman was speaking exactly about that and how they cannot take them for granted. Of course, there was a lot of conversation as well about Jess Carter and her statement about the racist abuse that she's received online. Georgia Stanway spoke really well about it, saying about how the team are really unified around her, and also the decision to not take the knee and how that decision came about with a lot of discussions amongst the team. But Stanway was also talking about herself. You know, she's a very experienced player. She is the penalty taker for England, of course, as well. And I was asking her about how it feels, because this is actually her 4th consecutive semi-final in a major tournament.
I didn't even know. So yeah, you telling me that is...
Have I made you nervous now? Sorry.
I'm already nervous. I'm sweating to be sat here. Yeah, I'm very grateful to be in this position, and I think it's just credit to the whole of England in terms of, yeah, us getting this far, the squad, the depth that we have, and yeah, just how important it is to have, like I said, such depth in the team that brings such quality. And you can see it in the games that we've played so far, and how important the substitutes have been and the finishers of the game. And they've come on, they've scored, they've made a difference. And exactly like the Euros last time, we relied so much on Alessia and Tooney coming on and changing the game at about 60, 70 minutes, and it's exactly the same this year. Yeah, you see the strength and the depth within the squad and utilising it.
Yeah, and Stanway talking there about the substitutes, that's going to be really important. A lot of conversation about if Sarina will tweak her starting 11. She tends to not do that. One thing is that Leah Williamson is fit. She obviously hobbled off the pitch in the Sweden game and couldn't see the game out. But, you know, you do question somebody like Chloe Kelly, who has been so effective off the bench. Could she get a start maybe over somebody like Lauren Hemp, who Sweden managed to really nullify? You know, you look at some of the other people that could be coming off the bench. You know, they've got the depth, they've got the talent, like Stanway said, and I think that's going to be really important going into this game. Yeah,
what do we think England need to change? You know, we 2-0 down. We didn't really want to be in that position, but it was great to fight back from that position. But what do you think Sarina Wiegman will be looking to change from the off?
I think it's just having that impact in the beginning. You look at how Sweden got those goals, you know, you cannot let that happen again.
Yeah, really.
So I think being able to kind of hit the ground running is really important, and I think that's where you look at people like your forwards, like people like Lauren Hemp, Ella Toon, Lauren James, who's been absolutely fantastic. I'm sure that she'll want to have a good game, especially, you know, after missing the penalty. And somebody like Russo, you know, I think she's a fantastic player. I personally think that if England do win this Euros, then she's got a strong shout for the Ballon d'Or. She's a phenomenal talent, but I think there were a couple of times in that game where she missed a couple of chances that you would normally expect her to take, and having spoken to her a couple of times, especially when, you know, at Arsenal, she will be looking to redeem herself a little bit from that, and I think that she'll be hungry for goals in this game, so that's going to be really important.
Absolutely. Predictions. Let's have it. Are we going to do this?
Of course we're going to do it. Come on, it's coming home, Flex.
Easy.
Easy. You know, on Inside Devils, we like to have a bit of positivity. But I think, to be completely honest, you do look at this Italy team, and I think it's important to note that the women's league in Italy only became professional in the 2022-23 season. So you compare that to the WSL. I think in certain ways, and this is no criticism of the team because they've still got phenomenal players, but I think in some ways, you know, they're maybe not on the same level as England. Like I say, they've still got great players. But I think that could potentially play a role as well when you look at Italy and the experience they've had, not as much experience as England. You know, like I said, this is the 4th consecutive semi-final that they've been at a major tournament. I think that says it all. So I'm expecting England to right a few wrongs from some of the previous games where they have faced criticism, and I think put this to bed early. That's what I'm hoping, because my nerves cannot take it, and I cannot take another penalty shootout, although they did say in the press conference that they have been practicing penalties.
And Angelina, let's say that it does all go our way and we end up in the final. Germany versus Spain, who do we want? Who are we more likely to beat, Germany or Spain in the final?
It's a tough one because obviously we faced Germany in the last Euros final that we won. This is a bit of a changed Germany side, but I think you would probably go with them just because we've come up against Spain a couple of times. Obviously the World Cup final, 2 fixtures this year, England managing to get a win out of one of them. But I think when you look at that Spain team and the talent that they've got, I'll be honest, it is scary. You've got 2 two-time Ballon d'Or winners in that team, and you look at a player like Claudia Pina, who's the top goal scorer in the Champions League. The corners that she has created for Spain have been so important. And Mariana Caldente, who is a player for Arsenal, who I do think if Spain win this tournament, she would be my front runner for the Ballon d'Or. She has been so effective. So I think when you look at every area of the pitch for Spain, there's so much talent. So for me personally, they do scare me more than Germany, although props have to go to the Germany goalkeeper for that phenomenal save the other night. They showed a lot of character in that game.